I was 29 years old, still moving through the world on the crutches that had kept me upright since the highway crash nearly 2 years earlier. When I stepped into my parents' backyard for the 4th of July barbecue, I told myself this year might be different. It never was, but hope is a stubborn thing. Tessa spotted me before anyone else. She stood near the folding tables, arms crossed, jaw tight, still playing the part she said. No greeting, no smile, just venom wrapped in her usual confidence. You know everyone here is tired of your little act. I am not acting, I said, keeping my voice low. I came because Dad invited me. Jade, beside me, shifted closer. Back off. Tessa. She literally just arrived. Tessa laughed, sharp and loud. Oh, please, Jade. You enable this. All of it. I moved forward, trying to pass her, but she stepped into my path. Stand still a second, she snapped. Let's show them the truth. Before I registered the movement, her hand closed around my right crutch. She yanked hard. My world tilted. The ground rushed up. Gasps rippled through the yard, followed by a few stunned laughs from cousins who never knew which side to choose. My palms burned where I hit the lawn, but the heat in my face was worse. Look at her, Tessa announced. Almost 2 years of pretending. I am done. I pushed up on one elbow. Give me back my crutch. Why, she said, so you can keep draining Mom and Dad grow up. Behind her. Aunt Marlene lifted her phone and started recording. My mother stared at the drink table. My father flipped burgers like none of this was happening. Jade knelt beside me. Aria, stay with me. I am recording this too. Her voice steadied me. My own family would not protect me, but the truth would. Eventually. If you have been through anything like this any moment where someone tried to rewrite your pain, stay with me. There is more to what happened that day, and it changed everything. Tessa still held my crutch like a trophy when I managed to push myself upright on one arm. You all saw that, she said, sweeping her hand toward the scattered relatives. She does not even try to hide it anymore. Quinn, my younger cousin, shifted uneasily. Tess, maybe just help her up. Help her, Tessa barked out a laugh. I have been helping her for nearly 2 years. I am done playing nurse. Aunt Marlene stepped closer. Phone held high. Keep talking, she said, not even pretending to hide the recording. People need to hear this. Jade rose beside me, her voice sharp. Put the phone down. Marlene smirked. If she is telling the truth, she should not mind. Right. My chest tightened. Quinn only saw me during a balance drill at the clinic. I said, Dr. Hale was holding me the entire time. Balance drill, Tessa repeated with a mocking tilt of her head. Funny how you can balance at the clinic but collapse at a barbecue. From behind the grill, my father called out to a neighbor, pretending the scene did not exist. My mother busied herself rearranging cups, her back forming a wall between us. Lila, another cousin, folded her arms. Honestly, Aria, you do look fine right now, Jade snapped. She is on the ground. Because she fell. Lila said, people fall. Tessa crouched down to my level, her eyes glittering. Say it, she whispered. Say you have been exaggerating. I swallowed hard. Give me my crutch. Not until you tell the truth. The truth, Jade said, stepping between us, is that you are humiliating her for sport. Tessa stood abruptly. The truth is she has drained this family enough. I felt Jade's hand on my shoulder, steadying me against the rising tide of voices. And for the first time that afternoon, I realized the crowd was no longer made of family-only spectators waiting for me to break. Tessa's shadow fell across me as she lifted my crutch higher, like she was displaying evidence. Aria, she said, her voice sharp enough to slice through bone. Everyone here knows you could stand if you wanted to. Just admit it. I am not admitting a lie, I said, pushing up on my hands. My arms shook, more from humiliation than effort. Aunt Marlene angled her phone for a better view. Keep going, Tess. People online love honesty. Jade stepped in front of her. Turn it off. Make me, Marlene snapped. Before Jade could respond, another voice, calm, steady, familiar, cut clean through the chaos. That is enough. The yard stilled. Even Tessa stopped mid-breath. Dr. Michael Hale stepped through the cluster of relatives, his expression controlled but unmistakably disappointed. I had not even realized he arrived. Dad must have invited him like every year. Tessa straightened. Dr. Hale, you should hear what she has been doing, I have, he said. For nearly 2 years. In my clinic, in my care. Marlene zoomed in her camera, hungry for more drama. Dr. Hale turned his head slightly. Put the phone down. What happens next is not entertainment. She lowered it, startled. He knelt beside me, offering his hand but not touching me until I nodded. You all want the truth, he said. Fine. Tessa folded her arms. Yes, please. Dr. Hale's eyes hardened. She is not faking, and I can prove it. 6 words, sharp, final, impossible to twist. He stood and pulled out his phone. This was recorded 3 days ago during Aria's session. He pressed play. My own gasps and labored breaths filled the backyard. In the video, I clung to my crutches, my legs trembling violently as Dr. Hale coached me through a 10-second balance drill. No one spoke. Not Tessa, not Marlene, not even my parents. Dr. Hale turned to the group. This is her reality, every day. The video ended, and the silence that followed felt heavier than the fall itself. Tessa's face drained of color, but she still clutched my crutch like she owned the truth. Dr. Hale looked directly at her. Give that back to her. Tessa hesitated. I was just trying to protect our parents. By ripping the ground out from under me, I said, my voice raw. She swallowed hard. You have no idea what I have handled while you were in therapy. The bills, the appointments, their fear. I have been the one holding everything together. Jade scoffed. You held nothing together today. Marlene muttered. Well, maybe we overreacted. Dr. Hale stepped closer to me. Aria, do you want to stand? I nodded, my hands shaking. He guided the crutch from Tessa's frozen grip and placed it gently into mine. Only then did I push myself upright. My legs wobbled, but the humiliation steadied me more than the metal did. We should go, Jade whispered. I looked toward my parents. My father's gaze flicked my way for half a second before returning to the grill. My mother stared at her hands as if they had betrayed her. I turned back to Dr. Hale. Can you take me to urgent care? I think I pulled something. Of course, he said. Tessa reached for my arm. Aria, please. I did not mean I stepped back. Yes, you did. Her hand hung in the air. Useless. Jade moved beside me. Come on. We are done here. As we walked toward the side gate, I could feel the crowd parting, their shame trailing behind us like smoke. No apologies, no responsibility, just stunned silence. Before getting into Dr. Hale's car, I glanced once more at the backyard at the faces that chose doubt over me. Then I closed the door. I was not staying in rooms that required me to bleed to be believed. At urgent care, Dr. Hale stayed beside me while the nurse checked my back and legs. Nothing broken, just strained muscles and bruised pride. Jade sat near my feet, arms crossed tight. You should not have to keep proving your pain, she said. I let out a shaky breath. Today made it clear they will never believe me, not unless someone else speaks for me. Dr. Hale's voice was steady. Then let someone who can protect you speak, not your sister. A lawyer. Jade nodded immediately. I already have someone in mind. Elise Thatcher. Disability cases. Civil harassment. All of it. I blinked at her. You planned this. I planned to be ready, she said. You deserve someone who will not look away. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. My mother. I hesitated, then picked up. Aria, she whispered, the same voice she used when trying to calm storms she never stepped into. Do not make this worse. Your sister is devastated. If you sue her, the family will fall apart. I closed my eyes. It fell apart when you watched them tear me down and chose silence. Please, she said, do not do this. I lowered the phone. I am hiring Elise. Jade exhaled in relief. Good. Dr. Hale rested a hand on the back of my chair. You are doing the right thing. Maybe I was. Maybe I was terrified. But something had shifted in me the moment my mother asked me to protect the family that refused to protect me. A line had been crossed, and I would not step back over it. Elise Thatcher did not waste time. The moment Jade sent her the recording, she called us on speaker. I reviewed everything. She said, "This is assault against a disabled person, defamation, and harassment." We moved forward immediately. Hearing someone name the harm out loud steadied something inside me. Detective Rowan Pierce visited my apartment the next afternoon, notebook in hand. Ms. Monroe, he said, I have seen the video. I will be interviewing your sister and your aunt. This is not a misunderstanding anymore. Jade stood behind me, arms folded. Make sure they do not spin it. They will not, he replied. By evening, the video had spread far beyond Jade's account. A disability rights creator reposted it with the caption, "This is why invisible disabilities are doubted." Within hours, the view count climbed into the hundreds of thousands. My phone buzzed nonstop. Jade looked over my shoulder. Tessa's company has been tagged over 200 times. I frowned. I never wanted her life destroyed. You did not destroy it, Jade said. She did. The next morning, Tessa's employer released a statement about conduct unbecoming and placed her on leave. Aunt Marlene deactivated her social media after commenters replayed her laughter again and again. I sat on my couch, hands trembling. Everything is happening so fast. Jade touched my shoulder. Good. Let people see what you have lived through. I opened my laptop, the blank page staring back at me. For the first time, writing did not feel like screaming into a void. I began typing. This is the long walk back to myself. Weeks passed, and my blog. The long walk back grew faster than I ever expected. People wrote to me from places I had never been: veterans, students, single parents, each message carrying the same quiet truth. I know what it feels like to be doubted. Their words steadied me more than any brace ever had. Dr. Hale noticed the change during therapy. Your balance is improving, he said. And your focus too. I have something to stand for now, I told him. But the legal process continued. Elise called one morning. Her tone clipped but satisfied. Tessa accepted the charges. The court assigned her 120 hours of community service at the Boulder Rehabilitation Center. My breath caught. That is here. Jade, who had come with me for the session, muttered, Perfect. Let her see the work you do to stand every day. 2 days later, I spotted Tessa in the reception area wearing a volunteer badge, her shoulders drawn tight. When she saw me, she stepped forward carefully, like approaching a wounded animal. Aria, she said, voice thin, I am trying to understand what you go through. The pain, the work. I did not know. I tightened my grip on my crutches. You never asked. She flinched. I want to fix this. This is not something you fix by showing up. I said, This is where I heal. Her mouth opened, then closed. She stepped aside. Jade touched my elbow. You handled that. Maybe I did. All I knew was that I walked past Tessa slow, unsteady, determined toward the room where I was learning how to reclaim my strength, step by step. Nearly a year after the barbecue, I stood on a small stage inside the Boulder Community Hall, holding a glass plaque with my name etched into it. The Colorado Disability Advocacy Council had honored my blog for raising awareness about invisible injuries. When the applause faded, I stepped off stage and breathed in the quiet. Jade found me first. "You earned that," she said, squeezing my hand. "Every word you wrote came from somewhere real." Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. "Mom." Jade's smile dimmed. "You going to answer I should," I said, though my stomach tightened. I stepped into the hallway and picked up. "Aria," Mom said softly. "I saw the live stream. You looked strong." She paused, then added, "Your cousins want to see you. I want to see you. Maybe we could have a family dinner. No excuses, no arguments, just us trying again." Her voice wavered. Not quite apology, not quite accountability. I leaned against the wall. "Mom, I appreciate the invitation. We miss you," she whispered. "Tessa is trying too." I closed my eyes. I am glad she is trying. But I cannot go back into a room where I am expected to pretend nothing happened. I need peace. And I only just learned how to have it. Mom exhaled shakily. "I understand." The call ended quietly. Jade stepped beside me. "You okay? I am," I said. "For the first time. I really am." I looked down at the plaque in my hand, solid, warm, mine. Back home, I set the advocacy plaque on my bookshelf, right beside my first therapy journal, the one filled with shaky handwriting and pain I could barely name back then. Tonight, the room felt different, not bigger, just finally mine. Jade arrived with takeout in one hand and her laptop in the other. "Your blog comments are exploding again," she said. "Someone from Seattle wrote that your last post helped her stand up to her family." I sat at my desk and opened a new entry. The blank screen waited, patient and steady. "You writing?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "I want to end this year with something honest." I typed slowly, letting the words land where they needed to. "Healing is not winning back the people who broke you. Healing is choosing yourself, even when they want the old version back." Jade leaned over my shoulder. "That is going to hit people hard. I hope it reaches the ones who need it most." I said, "Anyone walking through something like this? I want them to know they are not alone." I ended the post with a simple line. "If my story helped you, share yours. Let's give each other the courage our families could not." Then I hit publish. The click felt like a door closing and another opening.